for me, just saying, Dagda, stability in the bottom lane. Zorah was gone. Zorah was gone. And iBoy, he did just fine down there. And that's something I feel like we don't get to say a lot of times this split with iBoy. So I like the Zeri pick here. Sivir, another pick that got through the bans, at least in the first phase, will be picked up for LGD.
Yeah, I mean, Sivir very strong into Zeri because it can help push the wave in the early stages, and then that late game scaling where the AoE ability of this Sivir starts to shine against the short range carry like the Sivir, against the short range carry the Zeri works out exceptionally well. We'll have to see what Rare Adam are going to go for. Cube looks like he wants his time to shine. Jax has been his most dominant pick over the course of the split, and it feels like he just wants to lock that in immediately to make sure he's going to be comfortable in that one.
Getting a lot of things that are coming through that were taken away, or at least banned away in the first game. We also get the Yuumi grab for Rare Adam, so nice combo, first of all, with the Zeri, but that Jax, man, that Jax. I am so terrified once Cube gets on a roll and has Zorah right there with him. I'm looking for LGD now to have a response of some sort.
Yeah, I think the Kennen can work out pretty well, again, for team fights. And also just if Jax ever tries to jump in on top of you, get the CC, you step away, and makes it a little bit more difficult for Jax to try and play aggressive in that matchup. But you definitely do not want to be left alone as Fearness for too long, especially as we start to crest into the late game, because that's where Fearness will start to fall behind and Cube can take over the 1v1. LGD, they're going to focus junglers with none of them picked up for Adam, whereas Rare Adam are going to focus onto the supports as nothing is being picked up for JinJiao in that bottom side. I still think the mid lane counter pick is going to be really interesting for Haichao, and maybe that's where we see the gamer drafts come through.
I love your throw out there because I would love to see a little bit of something. I'm still waiting for the piece that really sells me on this draft for LGD. I think you've made some nice, arguments for some of those pieces, but I'm not sold yet, Dagda. I'm not sold. We do get the Pyke ban though for RA. They want to take that away from the possibility of JinJiao piloting that one. And now, as you say, we get one more pick for LGD, and then we'll have counter pick for them as well. So here we'll see what they actually want to go with. I would expect the support, obviously, to come through, and this would be a spicy one.
I mean, this could work out pretty well here. There's not a ton of engage tools on Rare Adam's side, so it is going to be, yeah. So the thing is, like, in jungle right now, like, what really heavy engaged jungler is there? Like, Wukong's gone. Like, Poppy's obviously still the big standout pick, but it's nothing that's really going to threaten something like an Ashe in the team fights, like being able to threaten that backline where she will be very vulnerable. So Ashe can actually get a lot of work done in these fights. You're looking at Rare Adam as well, potentially looking for the LeBlanc. That's can try and pick off JinJiao in fights, but still not something where she has to be overly worried about it in the grand scheme of things. So a nice time to pick up the Ashe. Rare Adam though, we're gonna have to see what Leyan finally does want to take in towards this jungle, and we see if Haichao will finally bring out a bit of spice of his own as well.
So the thing for me is, I love your point about LeBlanc, and we'll see how that works out. But then you have to add in all the other pieces, right? The Ultra Shock laser over top from the Zeri. You have the Jax from Cube with the jump in as well. And now, not only do you get the comfort, the legendary Leyan Rek'Sai, it comes out. So many threats to take out these squishy targets.
You have a lot of poke on Rare Adam with the LeBlanc and Zeri being able to use that Ultra Shock laser. And I think you have that's kind of what you're going to be relying on here for a little bit of Rare Adam, trying to say, hey, can we get a good amount of damage down before these fights really kick off? And then if you try to over-engage as LGD, suddenly Leyan is enabled, Cube is enabled, Zorah going to be able to do a ton of work with Yuumi, but I definitely favor LGD in team fights, right? Like, great long-range engage with the Ashe arrow, Haichao being able to set them up, Kui as well, late game scaling in the Sivers there, Kennen in team fights is going to be a monster just with the short range that is available on Rare Adam's side. So overall, I think this could be the one where LGD start to fight back, but if you end up getting this early lead as Rare Adam, the snowball is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I wonder, especially with the specific focus we got from Leyan last time around, and a lot of that, tempo play I felt like from them. It's going to be interesting how LGD adapt to that this time around with some of those pieces that do work well in those team fights. We were saying we want security around those objectives. We want to see if they can kind of put on the same show that RA put on and force fights, or at least force the hand of RA. But the question is, for me, Quay, where do you go? How do you attack this map right now, especially with the likes of the solo laners on the side of RA that are so terrifying?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at is, like, is there really wiggle room towards solo lanes? Probably not. I mean, you're more than likely going to be trying to see if you can make something happen in this bottom lane, but you do have to be very careful. Like, Leyan with this Rek'Sai, if he's able to match these early plays, is going to be an absolute menace, especially because Koi has to go in aggressively. So if Leyan shows up for a counter gank, Koi is going to be in a pretty bad spot.
Well, we hit the rip for the second time here. Again, reiterating what we said at the beginning of the day. Winning here would mean that you move yourself up in the standings. You would at least put yourself in distance from finishing second to last in the LPL summer split. And I think that is on the back of the mind of a lot of these guys, but specifically for LGD. To bring us to 3 games, that's what I'm here for. I'm locked in for a long night, and I want to see that volatility, that bloodiness that I was expecting that we saw a little bit of in the mid game of last game. But I want both these teams to come out swinging here for the rest of this series.
I thought you were just going to reiterate that, like, Mazel can hit high notes. Halo is a great game. Eating opium food is class. I thought that was going to be the catch-up we needed for all the viewers, but
true.
You know what? Sure.
I missed out on the
League
opportunity. Yep, League of Legends. That's what we're here for. Actually, we're here for early or late invade, at least, not early invade, from LGD. Actually, Quay will be successful in getting the red buff. So what do you think about them apples, Dagda?
I mean, separating the map is going to be great for Koi, right? He goes towards Raptors after this, should be in a pretty good spot. It was a bit of a toss-up because generally Rek'Sai tend to start on like one of the AoE camps, like the Raptors or also the Wolves, and it will be the Wolves for Leyan. So Leyan is going to move directly over towards the red buff on the opposite side. They already have a ward down there, so knows he's going to be totally all good. And Koi, like, as long as he can keep Assum and JinJiao with the ability to push this wave, poke the tower, start to get some gold that way, I think you're in a great spot here.
I challenge Strive just going at it yet again. We do still have so much aggression on the bottom side of this iBoy, and level 1. Oh, one more auto. The heal at the last second from Zorah will be enough to save iBoy's life.
This is why you try to split the map. Like, JinJiao has so much poke, like a double AD carry lane, Halo Blades as well. Like, this Ashe does so much damage, and also the slows make it obnoxious for iBoy to try and escape. You're running approach velocity as well, so you're able to consistently get these auto attacks off as the Ashe. So really nice job here by LGD's bot lane already to burn some of those summoner spells, and now start to get that chip damage down.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to use either the zoomies or the mobility from Zeri to get away from JinJiao. But if you take a tower shot, maybe things work out a little bit differently there for LGD, as Quay had to come down to hover just a little bit more as iBoy was looking aggressive there.
Yeah, I mean, not exactly the best. I was like, oh, maybe this is just a mega 5-brain bait, but judging from Assum and JinJiao's reaction, that was not the case. Leyan, though, still trying to play in this top side, and this is the problem here for Fearness. It becomes very difficult for you to try and keep up pace in this top side because you know that Leyan is definitely going to be playing on this top half of the map, so he will reset because he's about half health, a bit fearful of the dive, and will now TP back up into the top side.
So how do you expect, I guess, at this point when you're seeing this split map to approach these win conditions for especially RA? Well, I guess I don't get too much time. Quay is in a 2v1 at this point. He's just begging and pleading that RA stay in the position they are, and they will finally find him out. There's a big wave in front of the tower, so nothing's going to come of it with Quay looking for nice moves. I guess for me, it's now you're looking at that split lane focus, right? Going back to that conversation, and how do you or where do you see Leyan really putting all those resources in at this point?
So I think for LGD, what they're probably going to try and do is, and I will get back to Rare Adam because I think it hinges on this. Like LGD, I think what they're going to try and do is continuously split this map, right? They're going to keep using Assum and JinJiao's push and bot, invade onto the bot side, and see if they can get HighChao to try and help out in that regard as well, like leaning into this bot side and constantly look for invades and picks there to try and deny Rare Adam the opportunity to counteract the push from Assum and JinJiao. So I think for Leyan, it's kind of a twofold case, right? I think you got to try and immediately look for a play in mid with Strive. Like if you can kill HighChao or burn a flash, it becomes way more difficult for HighChao to try and like play up in these in this lane, play for these invades, and then you always have Strive to help out and kind of even out the numbers advantage. Or you could all in on Cube topside, but I think that's less of a win condition just because the way Jax unfortunately just can't quite take over from the top lane with the way that the game goes right now.
Yeah, and we're seeing Leyan now moving towards this bottom side of the map. We also want to reminisce a little bit in the fact that RA had that objective control in last game. And maybe with this movement, with a little bit of pressure down bottom lane from Leyan, they can look to continue that streak here. But the vision will spot out Leyan, so LGD going to play it very safe on the bottom side, even with the thumbs up again from JinJiao.
I mean, you'll still be able to collect this wave as LGD and then bring it back down. But at least at the moment, Leyan is starting to collect all of that CS that is on the bottom side. So you're not getting that split coming through from LGD at the moment. I think LGD will try and off Koi moving back down bot side here, look for something like the dragon. So maybe Leyan tries to interrupt that as he sees Koi moving top side and go for the dragon himself.
Koi says it's all part of the plan. He puts down the controller earlier, like, oh yeah, Cube knows I'm here. All right, so now I'm going to come back way later and try to get it. Maelstrom, oh no, it's not working out. Koi doesn't have much to follow it up. The Counter-Strike comes through, and Cube looks like he's getting out, but Haichao comes through with the Spirit Rush. He wants it. Cube is surviving. The tower shot not enough, and Cube finally goes down. An unfortunate series of events, but for LGD, it is fortunate. 1-0 lead.
Really nice try from Cube there. Nearly able to get away with his life, but just not quite enough. Bot side, though, is now the focus of Rare Adam. JinJiao and Assum kind of sitting ducks here a little bit.
They're baiting a little bit because Strive is coming over the wall to JinJiao, and he's dead. There you go. There's your focus that you were talking about in the draft for Strive, and RA respond.
And I think this is a mistake from LGD. Like, Fearness is not your win con. Helping him out is not your win con. Moving into this bottom side and trying to punish iBoy and Zorah as they're pushing out this lane would have been the best bet. Try to look for dragons. Now Koi is on this bottom side, so we'll let Assum like get this CS. Maybe they can get dragon off of resets coming through from Rare Adam as well, but the win condition for LGD is boss, and they're playing away from this.
I feel like the way we've seen Leyan play, he ain't letting those objectives go. He's going to go back into his red side jungle. We'll see back to good graces for the junglers themselves, and look back at the top lane too.
Yeah, you can see here, Koi, like the second he shows, Leyan actually ends up resetting on the bot side. So Koi tries to go for this. Great Counter-Strike here from Cube. And again, like the presence of mind, getting a ton of that extra mana back alongside the Time Warp Tonic. So managing to just nearly get away from this. But unfortunately, the creeps weren't quite able to block the shuriken throw coming through from Fearness. So Cube ends up falling.
It was so close. Cube is going to replay that one in his mind over and over again. But we will see Leyan going back up towards this top side and pinging actually towards the Rift Herald that'll be coming up here. So with the lanes in the state they are, I feel like RA are free to try to push for this objective themselves. But as we watch that Rift Herald go down, Dagda, I'm going to return to the appetizer question. We are in the middle of our appetizer right now between RA and LGD because we have our match of the week coming up later. You didn't know the food. Do you have a drink that you would go with appetizer? Do you have anything out particular? Your favorite drink? Do you have anything?
So, see, again,
oh my God, Dagda!
See, this is the thing, right? Like, at the moment, I'm kind of on a tequila and 7-Up hype train. I'm just off the rum hype train. Like, it kind of depends. And even, like, is it outside on a sunny day when then I'm on a Radler? You know, then I'm on the lemon beers. I
was thinking like a nice, like, I don't know, like a fruit drink or something, like a juice. But I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if anyone says drink to me, I am Irish. I just assume alcohol.
True, true. I'm just getting all these down. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of to the wind with it, but I'm trying to get your perfect breakfast to get like your perfect appetizer. I want, you know, I'm just saying, like you're not giving me much. But hey, given much is both these teams as they're actually looking Leyan towards the top side, but LGD towards the first dragon of the game.
The tiny vision of Leyan. Well, now spots that he's on the ward, but yeah, I mean, Dragon at least picked up for LGD, which is one of the big win cons that I'd like to see them play towards, whereas Rare Adam, well, Fearness, we hardly knew ye. Goodbye, friend.
Go down with the ship. The nice slicing Maelstrom, though. Still a lot of damage to be done, and Leyan easily picks up the kill, and it'll be turret plates aplenty for RA. Oh, they don't get the second one. Feels bad. It will be mid lane, though. LGD putting a lot of focus here after securing that dragon.
Yeah, so it looks like Rare Adam have kind of gone back towards what we're talking about is, look, if we can get Cube into a really good spot, maybe he can just hard carry us through this game, like continues to dive on towards Fearness, especially if he goes the Hullbreaker build, but it will be a ton of gold going over towards Cube with that top tower now dissolving, and you're going to have to see if you can try and respond here for Assum and JinJiao. They have got good push on bot side. You can see iBoy and Zorah not really knowing where LGD's jungler is going to just play it safe. But once the Tribe spots him out, iBoy and Zorah actually step up in the lane to make sure that they can try and get some of the CS.
Hey, let's go, Fearness. He got it. The next thing I'm looking at, okay, I guess we're looking at his bottom lane. The final chapter, the cleanse. JinJiao, he's about to go down. Flash forward from iBoy. He doesn't get the kill. Assum with the on the hunt, the speed. It's enough to get away. Assum doesn't have much mana, but he's got a TP because he has the reinforcement of Haichao, which with Spirit Rush could be something to be worried for RA, but a nice use of aggression from the bottom lane.
iBoy wants it. Assum going to tank this and see if he can bait iBoy in. Will iBoy take the bait though?
Will he or won't he? He doesn't. There you go. We do have movement from the bottom. Well, towards the bottom lane.
That was the most anticlimactic answer
it really
you could have hoped for.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And you know, hey, I'm here for it. Leyan's gonna be waiting though. He's like a predator in the bush. I don't know if you saw that new Predator movie, but I'm thinking that's Leyan right now. And he's actually gonna get spotted out by the nice hawk shot of JinJiao, and that's one of the strengths for this pick that LGD have chosen.
See, I am terrible at watching movies, so any of these new movies are just not going to be a thing for me.
You're just not giving me anything. Yeah. Relationships are a two-way street. Casting is a two-way street.
I actually have a problem with movies the other day. So I was actually telling this to my friend Yanni. He's one of the lads who's big into movies. And I was willing to watch what I thought was an episode. Actually, hang on. Haichao. No, yes, Spirit Rush. Should be fine.
Oh, the Void Rush. Leyan immediately flashes. He's like, I didn't want to do that. And they have a lot of damage. The arrow going a little bit wide, but Cube and Strive able to actually put pressure mid lane. Quay goes down too, so it's a trade back and forth. Haichao missing the charm there. It will be at least calm in the action. What were you saying, Dagda?
Yeah, so 1-for-1 trade. Oh, nice. I was surprised Leyan went that deep, especially as we said Haichao had Spirit Rush, but you know, swings and roundabouts here for Leyan. I was saying, I realized I had an issue because I was willing to watch what I thought was an hour and 25-minute long episode on Netflix.
Okay.
And I got like an hour long through. I was like, oh, this isn't an episode. This is a movie. I don't want to watch a movie. And I was about to turn it off. Like,
wow.
It didn't
wow.
make any
Just the
difference.
fact that
And I was
it was
like,
a movie.
just the classification of movie. And I was like, no, this isn't a thing. And it doesn't make any sense. Now, to be fair, because this was the very next question I got asked, did I turn it off? No. Because that's when I realized that I actually am just weird and have a problem. So I was like, no, I need to fix this. But apparently I just have a mental block when it comes to sitting down and watching.
When it comes to choosing favorite appetizer foods, when it comes to choosing favorite drink.
No, I just like I like to be in the experience.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
I'm a guy who likes to be in the moment.
All
and
right.
sometimes the moment needs a wheat beer. Sometimes the moment needs a margarita. Sometimes the moment wants a pizza. Sometimes the moment wants a spike ball. You know? You never really know where you want to go with these things.
Spike ball's legendary. If you were in this movie, would you be happy with your appetizer? I don't know how to tie the two things
in Predator?
Together. I feel like at this point I don't know where we're at anymore. Cube knows where he's at though, because he's got at least a little bit of reinforcements coming from Leyan. The cease and desist and Fearness's damage is enough to at least get one kill. Leyan tries to follow it up. He gets it back, but it's Leyan in the end falling to Haichao.
Fearness steps back into Predator Claw range, and Leyan will pounce on him, managing to get another one. Yeah, if I was in the Predator movie, it wouldn't matter what appetizer I had. I'm not happy to be there, to be perfectly honest. No matter what food I've been given, I would not be paid enough. No, I'm good. Like,
no Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes. No, like, get to the chopper.
Yeah, get to the
Would
chopper.
Would you not do
we
it just for that
cookies.
one opportunity to yell, get to the chopper in all seriousness in your full voice one time?
I mean, I do that anyway. I don't need a movie to do that.
Ooh, there's the enchanted crystal arrow, the cleanse. iBoy and Zorah are in a serious predicament here. iBoy goes down immediately, and now Zorah is kind of left out. They'll find Strive over the wall. The dragon started, but Zorah goes down, and RA, you need to get out of this fight, as this will be second dragon secured from LGD.
Zorah didn't get to the chopper.
He did not.
He wasn't in time. He couldn't get over the wall, and he ends up falling down with a massive explosion. Dragon, though, will go to LGD. 2 dragons now. Gold still very much even with the back and forth that we've had kind of both in the top and that bottom side. Strive as well, being able to pick up a couple of kills for himself. So right now, it is very much a case of LGD relying on people like Haichao to continue finding these picks alongside Kui, trying to rely on that bridge to get Sivir into the late game. But finding these kind of nice picks with JinJiao is definitely a good way to start. Like, iBoy and Zorah, I think they can go for this. But again, like, they have no idea where the rest of LGD are. And this has been something that we've seen a lot from iBoy in particular, is just this over-aggression when he really has no right to do so. And even here, as you can see, Zorah, unfortunately, just gets pipped by the Q from Kui, which means he can't hop over the wall to safety. So just sad times across the board for the rare out of bot side.
Leyan now has his Prowler all ready to go, so he's looking for the aggression. He's actually going to steal away the red buff with Zorah right in tow. And this is some nice movement, albeit some of the lackluster things that have happened in Ahri's court. I cast the first hit. I'm sorry, iBoy. Never mind.
He definitely saw that ward. Strive had an excuse.
I thought so.
There's no way iBoy didn't see that ward come over the wall. I'm just saying.
I was going to go on this whole spiel of, like, at least you're seeing them still try to make movements. They're still playing aggressive. Leyan's still trying to look for picks. Now they find themselves on the wrong side of town. I don't know if they can get back to the right side of town. We'll see if they can. It's a movie.
Yeah. They're going to have to go real sneaker agents here to see if they can get through.
Are they just going to wait till they take it and just move out? Okay. I like it.
Shh. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
It's
Strive, stop moving.
It's
oh, they're on the ward. They're on the ward.
Oh, no. It's doomed.
Well, yeah, no, apparently LGD are just like, nope, we're good. They're not really too sure where iBoy and Zorah were, so didn't want to try and take the full 5v5. But, I mean, they're the ones this time getting all the objectives, right? Yes, you got Rare Adam and got the first Rift Tail, but now second one going across the LGD. And Koi might catch a cube here.
Yeah, Cube didn't know he was over the wall, and especially when you get that fist to the face, Cube definitely going to be feeling that one tomorrow. Counter-strike out, Quay. He doesn't go down. Haichao gets the kill.
Yeah, this is kind of the power that Jackson when it gets ahead, but unfortunately 0-3, not exactly ahead. So can't finish off Kui on that bottom side. Now Haichao gets the push in that wave. The Rift Tail is still in Kui's back pocket, but I do like that he's keeping this here. I'd love to see him crack up in mid-turret, and then you can start to like establish vision control on whatever side of the map you want to play for, especially with Dragon in 2 minutes, like third Dragon for LGD. Like having that mid tower down, being able to push mid, get some vision control in behind the Dragon pit, it's just going to be so nice for LGD, especially if you're looking for picks with Kui, Haichao, Fearness, maybe looking for flanks. It's all going to be good and tasty.
Leyan getting the smite away there. He has a lot of people from LGD that are not very happy about that. Try to do something on the back end of it, but they'll just move in, take the Gromp back, and LGD kind of work back their way through their own jungle to try to defend this bottom lane. As I was saying, I'm not going to cast Curse iBoy because he's not on the screen just this time, but the aggressiveness from Leyan I still love to see on the Rek'Sai. I think you're going to need to keep that up for RA if you want to get back into this game.
That's the problem though, is like as you start to crest over the hill, Rek'Sai just stops being useful. Like, she just doesn't have enough of a health bar, not enough resistances. Okay. She's very much an assassin. And trying to get on towards Assum, as we said, though, is going to be a bit of a problem because it's not like you have, like, a big one-shot kind of engage tool, like an Ornn, say, with the Call of the Forge God or something along these lines. You don't really have, like, even a Kennen that could kind of be your flank buddy. Strive can be that, but he's going to very quickly dip and kind of leave Leyan on his own. So, unfortunately, you need to be ahead as this Rek'Sai. Being even at this point of the game, not exactly where this Rek'Sai is going to be particularly comfortable.
Hawkshot will spot out the trap from RA yet again, and they've just been on top of it. And it gives so much information, especially when you're on the Rek'Sai, right? You need a lot of that setup, and they haven't been able to find it. Now we have another Dragon coming up on the board, with Baron spotting soon, but the Dragon more important for LGD, as they will find Soul Point if they do get this one.
Yeah, Kui's still holding on to this Rift Tower, though, so if you actually try and contest this as Rare Adam from the bottom side, which is what they're doing, LGD do this. They just run mid, place Rift Held, take your tier 2, maybe even take the inhibitor, and all for a single Dragon trade. Now, this Dragon far more valuable. 9% armor and magic resist increase is kind of insane. So LGD definitely don't want to give up this Dragon, but do have options.
They were trying to bait it out for a second, but now they actually move in to try to pull the Dragon back. Fearness is looking on the side here. He has Slicing Maelstrom, but he has a flank of a flank. A Strive is waiting there with Zorah. The Dragon will be given up, but they'll try to find Fearness on the back end. Fearness flashing away, and Dragon secured for LGD.
So now got Cube pushing mid. He'll have to exit up towards that top side. But LGD have push in mid if they want to now, and still have this Rift Tail. It is about to time out, so Koi may need to, I was about to say, realize that he needs to pop that down before he leaves, but maybe doing so regardless. Like, you can see it there. Like, it's gone. You didn't even put it down.
What? Wait. He stopped back. Oh, no. He used it in the base as he backed.
Oh, okay.
I thought he stopped
Just
backing in the mid lane. Interesting. All right. Well, hey, at least it gets it out. It's going to go bottom lane. And, hey, it all works out in the end because there's a tier 2 still out there.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if Fearness can actually get this tier 2 down before Rift Herald hits.
Dagda.
Yeah,
I was
that
about
was
to say. That's insane. I thought he was trying to back, right? They're trying to get resets, and unfortunately, they just don't let him.
It will give... Oh, actually, TP in behind here. That may have been a bit of a whoopsie.
What is
here.
happening? I love this. RA are getting sucked into the trap here by LGD. See if they can get to the turret and get away from the turret as the Rift Herald, very interesting.
Get to the
chopper!
There.
Yeah, get to the top, and the chopper's leaving. The tower does go down, and we got 5 members of LGD on the bottom side.
I love how it works on multiple levels.
It works on every level.
Because he's got the counter-strike. But here we go, LGD. This is the push that we never knew we needed, but LGD got it.
They didn't even contest it. That's a tier 2 down. Now the Enchanted Crystal Arrow here, the charm. Oh, my God. Strive, you ain't living the day. That's 3 towers in bottom lane. The charge even going off on the inhib, and Shelly is still kicking. Holy cow, LGD. Way to blow open the game, but iBoy trying to get as much back in the mid lane.
And Strive even still has Flash. He just didn't get a chance to use it. So now you're in an awkward position here as Rare Adam. You're going to have super creeps on your bot side. Baron is up, a 6th man essentially on the map in favor of LGD. And this will be a very quick take from LGD if they can get onto it. But you can see there, Strive thought he'd be able to sidestep. Anyone who's played against Ashe knows how stupid that hitbox is. You cannot sidestep that hitbox. So ends up getting hit regardless.
And like the on the hunt, everything following up the charm. And the thing is, the arrow's back up. Like the cooldown is ridiculous. And that's where like you don't see it as much, at least in the beginning of the game. But now this is when that Enchanted Crystal Arrow is so crucial, because if you can get 1 to 2 pickouts right, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard for Rare Adam to come back from this spot. We already talked about them, like, scaling-wise falling behind. Strive trying to make a pick here into Haicho. We'll get about half his health bar, but yeah, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow at this stage is just on such a short cooldown. You can basically throw it out like your E. It's like a 30... Well, when he hits level 11, I think it moves down to like a 42-second cooldown or something like that. Like, it's insane how quickly it's up. So it's why we've kind of seen Ashe come into this support role. She's just been so good at finding these engages so consistently.
A little bit of damage traded back and forth. RA actually almost caught out some members of LGD. They don't commit to it, though, and they'll just keep hovering around this mid lane, as we see LGD not really needing to focus, at least just yet, on this bottom lane. They will need to at some point if they're sending Fearness down there, but it's more majorly focused around this top side for LGD.
I mean, again, like LGD just kind of taking this very slow, which they feel like they're just waiting for the dragon to come up, but I don't really feel like they needed to go as slow as they are. Like, they're actually losing a lot of ground here because of these reset timers. Cube is pushed in bot side, he's getting his own reset. Strive is getting to shove in top, and they should be able to still reset in time for dragon, but now you're just losing waves as LGD. So, bit of a weird timers here for LGD, as they just haven't quite hit the nail on the head with trying to move over towards this dragon.
And we'll actually see the setup starting to come through now for LGD around that dragon. They'll be happy with the Mountain Soul here, and I don't see a way that RA can take a team fight if they do get that one. And you're looking at that gold discrepancy here, Assum already getting to that late game carry potentially. Still waiting on that 3-item spike. Speaking of spikes, maybe RA want to try to make a spike into LGD. He needs to back away, though, as Fearness actually looking for it. He was waiting to pull the trigger on the Slicing Maelstrom, but really it's all just bullying RA out so they can set up for this dragon.
The Rare Adam still contesting, though. LGD have a really good position here where you do have to walk in blind as Rare Adam and into like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Koi, even Fearness, that's a bit of a dangerous spot, but good poke and good checks coming through here from Rare Adam to make sure that they can push LGD back.
Do you take the team fight here, Dagda? Do you see them taking a team fight against LGD?
It's so hard. Like, Fearness has such a good position here, has the flash available as well. JinJiao can engage from so long away. You need like Leyan or Strive essentially to tank the Enchanted Crystal.
Strive is on vision. He's does get that cleared out here. The Dragon already down about half health here, but here comes Fearness on the back end. He's not spotted out just yet. Alright, we'll move in. Fearness has a nice flank here. He's just waiting to go in. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes. Now Fearness is trying to get around the corridor here as well, but it's a nice presence in the pit from LGD, and the Dragon is just going to go down. Soul secured. There's the cease and desist under the backline, but Quay needs to be a little bit more careful as the final chapter comes out. Leyan finds himself in no man's land and also finds himself dead. That's RA trying to still fight this, and Strive caught out, does get Quay down, but iBoy is not going to last too much longer. It's going to be a huge tussle here if iBoy can take this fight. He is the Zeri, but LGD realize they don't need to continue here. They back away afterwards. The Ultra Shock Laser, he wants it. iBoy sees the glitz and the glam, but after everything, LGD come away on top.
Yeah, he needs to see his base, though, because they already got the super creep streaming in there. Mountain Soul now for LGD means that they can very easily turn over towards this Baron. And just a great fight there from LGD as well, like pushing back, keeping Rare Atom in the pit, Rare Atom out of the pit for as long as possible. And like iBoy as well, forced to use the cleanse early, makes it very hard then for him to continue pushing up and approaching. We kind of talked about Strive or Leyan needing to tank those with the spell shields that they had available, but not the case. And then again, JinJiao actually gets to deal a good amount of damage in these fights. Fearness catches the end of the outside, and the AoE damage that Assum's getting off is starting to ramp up as well.
It's just the individual pieces aren't enough for Ahri to really put up a fight when it comes to these 5v5s. The positioning from LGD has been really good in this second game comparatively to what we were seeing last game. I think that's the biggest spotlight for me, I guess, is just we finally got the wake up of LGD on the red side here, and the pickup of, you know, the Ashe being monumental in a lot of these picks, a lot of the setups and the fights, and I love to see this from LGD. They are awake and alive here to try to fight out against RA. Highshell actually tried to fight out against Strive. Doesn't find him, but Strive, be really careful. He's got a passenger with him, so you got to get your passenger out alive at this point. I don't know if Strive's going to be able to do so. Maybe they both just bite the dust. He's actually going to try to circle back around towards
He's going to Cube. Cube,
oh,
save
no,
him.
TP
save
down
your boy.
here.
Oh, no,
No,
the TP.
Strive. Oh, it's catastrophe. Zora's dead too. Your passenger did not survive, and I won't be taking that RA cab anytime soon.
Yeah, that's a record scratch moment, and Zora's like, I guess you're wondering how I got here. I connected to the wrong person, which kind of been the story for a lot of Zorah this game at times, but we'll have to see as LGD now with the pick on towards the mid laner and the support gone. LGD will get the Baron. Fearness still good to continue pushing against the Cube on this bottom side. Both have TP to try and join in, so it's not like Rare Atom are going to be able to create a numbers disadvantage. And overall, LGD look like they're going to be pushing us to that game 3, Mazel.
It's looking like it. The appetizer is going to go on a little bit longer here because both teams just don't want to give up any ground at this point, right? LGD on the red side looks like a different beast, and I'm very excited what we'll get for game 3. But we have to look to the rest of this game. And Cube taking an Enchanted Crystal Arrow to the face, no big deal with the Hull Breaker.
Him, maybe in the same spot, but Bill just managed to escape away. So yeah, I mean, Merc Threads coming in clutch there. Koi couldn't quite get into position for the Assault and Battery, or cease and desist even, as LGD now starting to push down this mid lane. And this is kind of like a very slow approach here from LGD. Like they seem so worried about pushing into any of these lanes, despite the fact that they have Baron, like despite the fact they have a Mountain Dragon. Like, it's kind of bizarre to me that they are as scared as they are. Because again, like, you've got what, 18% increased armor and magic resist off your Mountain Dragons, plus you've got the shield as well. Like, I mean, you're not actually going to take a huge amount of damage, even if you end up with a full combo from Strive, because he has gone Banshee's Veil, more of a defensive build rather than the upfront damage build.
There is a clear difference in the handling of a lead between these two teams at this point. We'll see the lightning crash for iBoy. Leyan on the side trying to go in. Strive tries to get the chain onto Quay. But again, it's just trying to poke and prod LGD out from the turret here. But you have a big wave trying to crash into the inhib in bottom lane. that pressure you let go earlier coming back to bite RA a little bit.
I mean, at least now LGD are able to push in towards the base. We'll get the mid inhibitor, should be able to move bot. Kui going real deep again, though.
They're a little bit overextended, but Kui tanky enough to get out of there. There's the enchanted crystal arrow. Not going to charm, or at least stun them up too long, and the charm actually doesn't connect. So the inhib finally goes down. You'll have 2 inhibs taken out against LGD, but Cube, I don't know if he can get the inhib, but he can at least get the tower. That's really nice stuff for RA, at least in the return. I don't know if it's going to mean much, but hey, it's a counterplay.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, see what it could actually cause, because, like, you don't have TP on Strive, right? So even with this Elder... Oh, actually, Leyan might be... No, he's able to get away. But, like, Elder Dragon's up in 50 seconds. I think with that, maybe Cube can cause enough issues. Like, if Cube is able to play up towards this top side, like, maybe catch out Fearness here, but not going to be the case. Like, you need this to actually amount to, hey, Rare Adam have enough pressure on top side that they get to sneak Elder, and maybe they will as Koi's up here. Like, this is late resets from LGD, which actually sets up well for Rare Adam.
I'm really curious. I guess they don't want to, again, going back to that fear conversation, they don't want to give up any pressure on the top lane, a fear of a TP flank to end the game or something along those lines against RA. But now they've got to assume position around this Elder Dragon, and they do so easily, right? They have super minions funneling into the mid and bot lanes. It makes it that much easier, and it forces RA's hand here. They have to get back to defend the base. Cube gets hit by that cease and desist. He does have the counter-strike. He's buying so much time, but is it enough? He's going to get out with the ward jump. He's not out just yet, though, and that's the flash forward. LGD, they find themselves in the base before RA get there, and now they're on to the Nexus Towers. They want to push us to game 3, and they're focusing down the actual objectives, but it's Fearness that goes in with the slicing maelstrom, and the whole team comes up behind them, says, "We got you, bro." Assum's like, guys, I'm over here. I'm in the game. This is the time to push us to game number 3, and LGD do just that.
LGD, a much better early game for themselves, able to control the pace with these early objectives and making sure that they got that control with that split map from level 1 for Assum to start getting these advantages. And we talked about it, like the pick potential coming through from this Ashe, the inability to really get access to that backline. It made it incredibly difficult for Rare Adam once we got into these fights.
It really did. I just, it was so hard to see after losing consecutive skirmishes, and again, the objective focus, the dragon focus being so important in this series so far. It was hard to see the avenue forward, even with those strong solo lanes that we were talking about so heavily for them. It was the execution. And tried and true LPL fashion, Dagda. You get one iteration of the first team, the second game you get the other iteration of the other team, and then we get whatever happens in game number 3 here. And I'm here for it because we actually got to see LGD execute a strategy where in game 1 it didn't feel like they had the chance.
I think that's the big one, is that, like, LGD being able to flip the script is really good. I think Leyan, unfortunately, he's still trying to play, like, I think the Pantheon worked out well. I like that you had Zorah able to help him out, but it felt like without Zorah being able to assist the Rek'Sai this time around, way less of an impact. Great wards as well coming through from LGD in the early stages. Like we saw the one that was in the back of Baron Pit that spotted out Leyan as he tried to move in top side. We got wars on the bot side as well that were spotting him out every time he tried to make play there. So I think overall just really good orchestrating of the early game from LGD, making sure that Leyan couldn't have that impact, and then just relying on, hey, we've got this late game Sivir who's going to be able to take over.
Yeah, it was a tried and true composition. I love the addition of the Ashe. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the crazy spice that we were talking about in the gamer drafts, but the fact that we do get to see the combo, and the fact that JinJiao is actually taking a front and center stage in a lot of the setup, right? We still got to see a lot of the Kui kind of over engages, but a lot of the enchanted crystal arrows were just spot on, and it made it so difficult to play around that composition as well.
Overall, I think the biggest problem for Rare Adam was like, hey, look, if you don't get the ball rolling early, what really happens here, right? Leyan and Strive fall off an absolute cliff. iBoy and Zorah can still look good. Cube can look okay, but like in a team fight scenario, Fearness just brings so much more to the table. So I think that's the issue that we're kind of seeing back and forth here, is that like you've much easier to execute on LGD side, where it's way more difficult and more nuanced than Rare Adam. And oftentimes when you're in the LPL, it is those less difficult to execute compositions that really make the difference.
Especially when we're talking about these teams, right? We know that they're at the bottom of the table, and especially at this point, like it is about getting something that's stable that you can actually see the players perform on. And I'm here to see what we get in game number 3 of our appetizer series, as we're going to send it away to a little break, and we'll be right back.